In this video, I want to talk to you about 4 ways to handle office politics. And in this instance, I'm talking about gossip. So 4 ways to handle gossip in the workplace. First of all, people will gossip with you, but they won't trust you. They will listen to you gossip, but they will not trust you. They won't tell you anything that is important to them, anything that they don't want to be shared. So when you gossip, you got to think about the impact that it's going to have on you in the long run. Even though it might not be something negative. You might not think it's something negative against you because you're just involved in the office politics. You're just involved in the gossip. You're just listening or you're just spreading something. People will not trust you in the future because you have spread something that you don't know if it's true or not. And just to be a part of, talking to somebody, telling somebody what you've heard. So number 1 is to ignore it. One of the things you can do is ignore the office politics. You can ignore the gossip. You can put your head down and work and just focus on what you've been paid to do, and that's to go there and work. You don't have to get involved in the politics. You could just ignore it. You can not pay attention to it. You can ignore what happened or what's being said. So number 1 is ignore it. Number 2 is you can speak up for what's right. It's important that when we hear something, somebody saying something, we can say, this is wrong. We can say that this is not right. You don't believe it. This is not true. You can speak up for what's right. You can put a stop to it. You can say that this stops with me. Number 3 is you can work on yourself. A better you is a better organization. And a lot of times we don't realize that when people are gossiping, some of it is they don't have anything else better to do. Some of it is they would rather tear somebody else down instead of working on themselves. But this is a great opportunity to work on yourself. How can you be better? How can you improve? But if you're better, the organization is going to be better because of that. When we participate in gossip, we just make it worse. So just don't participate in gossip. It only makes the situation worse because all it is we're passing on something that we've heard. We don't know if it's true or not. And it's not our place to tell it anyway, right? From one person to the next person to the next person. The next one is, the last one is discourage others from doing it. Just shut it down. So when we hear it, we could just say, okay, that's not right. I wouldn't be talking about somebody. We don't know if that's true. And if there's a problem, we should talk to that person and not spread it around to other people. So all gossiping does is make a bad situation worse. It's like putting gasoline on a fire. At some point, it's going to explode. It's going to be explosive. And it just talks about our character when we're gossiping about things that we don't know to be true. And I always think about, when as far as gossiping is concerned, I had to learn this the hard way, is that I don't want to say anything about anybody that I don't want to be true for myself. And would I want somebody else to say these things about me? What would I want if somebody said these things about me? What would I want somebody to say, in reference to it? Do I want somebody to stand up for me and say, okay, this is wrong, this is not true, this is not right? Or do I want them to talk about me, continue to spread it all around the organization? I don't think that's right. And I think it's immature when we gossip. Of course, you got to learn, right? And we think sometimes initially that it's okay to gossip, that we're not hurting anybody, but we're hurting ourselves. We're hurting the person we're talking about. So gossip is not good at all. It doesn't help anyone. It only makes a bad situation worse. When we gossip, we make things worse. Of course, when we work with imperfect people like we're going to have issues, right? Things are not going to be perfect. There's going to be some arguments, there's disagreements, there's going to be some things that we just don't like about the person. But it's not our place to go and gossip and talk about them. We're only going to make things worse. We're doing the wrong thing when we talk about people. And when we talk about gossip, we think about, in this instance, I'm talking about in the workplace, but this could be family and friends. So when you think about gossip, just think about, is this something that you want somebody to say about you? When you're talking about other people, and it's easy, right? Because we all got an opinion. We got something to say about everybody. We got something to say about everything. But we just got to make sure that when we're saying whatever we're saying, or we're making the situation better or worse, and we want somebody to say this same thing about us. So gossiping is not good. Tell me in the chat if you are somebody who shuts gossip down, if you ignore it, if you just working on yourself. You're just working on yourself to make yourself better.